I think we've played this a few times, right? I know I've been donating this before.
President Johnson.
Huh? So you're finally here.
You've been expecting me?
Your equipment, that skull suit, isn't exactly standard military issue.
Are you all right, sir?
Is this some kind of sick joke? I thought you came to kill me.
What?
Give me a smoke.
I'm prepared to face the consequences of my betrayal.
What are you... What the...
Will you just grab his nuts?
You're a man? Well, who are you?
Foxhound, sir.
Foxhound?
A furry, by the way.
I see. Now things are starting to make a little sense.
Why'd he grab his sack?
Switch over to nano-communication so nobody can listen in.
Yes, sir.
Nano communication.
Do you read me, sir?
13 years ago, by the
yes.
way.
Mr. President, it's my understanding that the terrorists have managed to input the code sequence necessary for launching a nuclear strike.
That's correct. I punched the sequence in myself.
You're working for them?
If you ask me to,
This is kind of what's happening right now. I'm just saying.
hours ago, my answer would have been yes. Right now, they're keeping me alive until my vital signs are reconfirmed.
They betrayed you?
I wouldn't quite put it that way. I wanted power. They sought destruction.
But why stoop to terrorism?
I wanted absolute power.
But
This is literally what's going on right now. And, you know, I know all you idiots always fucking troll me like, you were fucking for Trump in 16. And that's because he was saying a bunch of shit that was against the establishment, but wasn't too radical, in which it's going to change the direction of the country. You know, and many of the things that Trump was advocating, I advocated in 09, 08, 2010, 2011. And, you know, that's what brought me out of, you know, not doing this shit anymore. Was the fact that I thought that this dude, and look, I'm not going to explain my connection to people in his campaign and myself. But, you know, there was a lot of belief there. And unfortunately, I was naive because everybody wants absolute power. And at some point, and if you want my personal opinion, I think that Trump thought that because he was so close with Epstein, and I didn't know this, I was much like many of the people that are trying to be MAGA now, which are, at this point, you can't be like naive to it. I really didn't know, you know, how close he was to Epstein. But I think the reason, because Trump brought up Epstein himself. And I think that because, you know, he thought he was so close to Epstein that he had the keys to blackmail all the people, the institutional people, into doing his will. And that was a big mistake. And when Epstein was suicided, that's when Trump turned into whoever the fuck this guy is now.
you're the president. You have power.
No. I'm just a figurehead.
Now he is.
I don't have any control. The real power is in the Patriots' hands.
The Patriots?
The truth behind this country. I'm not surprised you've never heard of them. Very few are aware of their existence, even among those with code word clearance.
Huh?
Politics, the military, the economy, they control it all. They even choose who becomes president. Putting it simply, the Patriots rule this country.
No.
Hard to believe, isn't it? But it's the truth. The space defense, income tax reduction, and national missile defense programs. Every policy that's been credited to me was actually done according to their instructions.
Yep.
Space defense was initiated by Congress.
That's what the Patriots want the country to believe. It's all a show. Democracy is just a filler for textbooks. Think about it. Do you act...
Look, part of this is true, okay? Don't get me wrong. Part of this is true. But everything that I've ever said, if you listen to my serious content, it's a battle of ideas. And right now, the reason things are so discombobulated is because the tech bros and the pharmaceutical bros are now superseding the financial bros, which have been in control of the world since Carnegie and J.P. Morgan and Rockefeller and Rothschilds. Warburg actually was the operative for the Rothschild during that time. They monopolized all the money. That's what's happening right now, you morons. What's happening right now, just like I told you in 24 when I predicted all this shit that we're going to go into a Great Depression, we're going to get hit up, or it's going to be a world war, all this bullshit. We've done all this bullshit before. All right, the Smoot-Hawley tariff. We did this shit. And what happened after the Smoot-Hawley tariff? We went into a fucking depression and a world war, you fucking moron. It's not that fucking hard. It's just that you people are fucking stupid. You'd rather fucking play video games and watch anime than truly understand that if you just pay attention to life, you'd be able to bypass all this bullshit. But you don't. You live in fantasy land. All you fucks. You live in fantasy land. Anyway, play this shit.
Actually believe that public opinion influences the government?
No.
This country is shaped and controlled as the patriots see fit.
And look, he's right, okay? Part of this is right. Whoever the patriots are, which the powers that be, they have an idea in their head in which they believe that they're going to take the country or take the world, really. That's why, people look at the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, the Council on Foreign Relations. All these things are thinking tanks in order to present to the individuals that have influence over commerce, over finance, pharmaceuticals, tech, transportation, you name it. And the idea is, all right, what's happening now is that the ideas amongst the elites are conflicting. COVID, which in my opinion was because Trump allowed it, the pharmaceutical industry and the health industry's attempt to take full and total control of the world. And luckily, there was enough people, and I think I said this on the last show, that said, even after Trump, who allowed this to happen, Biden was trying to be like, oh, well, if you're a public official, you got to fucking get injected, and, we encourage other corporations. And there was enough of us that said, fuck no. And the system had to back down, okay? And then what happened post-COVID, okay? There was so much money circulated, all right? The most money circulated in American history. 70% of the fucking money circulated now. Well, the interest rates have gone up a little bit, but after COVID, when we were all, out, we were able to spend our money and all this other bullshit, 70% of that money that was printed post-COVID was printing during COVID. And what's happening is that big tech and Trump and everybody, because he's now it's not farmers, it's not big pharma, it's big tech now. And he's allowing big tech to take over. That's why there's AI fucking data centers being built all over the place. And what are these AI centers being used for? I mean, if we could use, and you see DeepSeek, when China released DeepSeek, it almost blew the cover of the AI data bubble, or the AI economic bubble that's going on right now. Because you don't need to have this massive amount of data centers in order to run an AI model on something as simple as a fucking Raspberry Pi. The problem is that the data centers are to use all these devices that have AI that are already listening to you. That's why they're trying to push these fucking phones with AI in them, so that Everything is it can be deciphered, it can be located, it can be mapped. Every part of the data of everything that everybody's doing, as long as these phones, these Wi-Fi devices, these 5G shit, everything can be mapped. I mean, the big tech is almost at godlike status. The only thing that they're missing is putting fucking robots, which the whole reason to put robots is not to help you. It's to one day, when these fuckers want to take control of the whole world, they can use these robots, these electronic vehicles, etc., in order to disarm and keep the fucking human beings, which most of them reside within metropolis areas, keep them trapped in those areas. You know that these fucking electronic cars, they have they're all centrally monitored, and they can be taken over by the manufacturer. This is all fucking software app driven. And in my opinion, if I wanted to take over the world, or, if I was a tech bro, this is why tech bros are trying to stop me here. But if I wanted to take over the fucking world, first thing I'd do, okay, once I have robots, electronic cars is the majority, easily take control of the human race by trapping them in the inner cities, by having every goddamn electronic car trapping every goddamn exit out of the place. And you can autonomously do that. They've got the ability to do that shit. And then you've got these robots, and it's not just going to be the humanoids. It's going to be all kinds of shit. And they can subdue us and do anything we want. They can rewrite history. And don't think this hasn't been done before.
People are shown what they want to believe. What you call government is actually a well-staged production aimed at satisfying the public.
Huh?
Don't look at me like that. I'm legally sane, you know.
It's not your sanity that worries me.
Yeah, no shit. It's your acceptance to this shit.
Even I don't know who the actual members are. Are they financial, political, or military leaders?
It's a consortium, okay? I mean, whoever is at the top of the decision-making of all these apparatuses, it's their ability to believe in a collective system, because it's all collective. This is all communism, okay? This is all communism. Globalism is communism. Remember when Trump in 2016, he was the first guy in any political context, even in business context, use the term globalism. That's what this shit is. And it's a battle of ideas. And right now, if you want my personal opinion, all these consortiums that make the world go round, it's much like the mob. The mob, the reason the mob reigned for so long over New York from, after the 30s, okay, they controlled New York from, and not just New York, Chicago. The reason they were able to do that is because all the consortiums of mob bosses of different pieces of geography of New York or Chicago all came together in a commission, is what they used to call it. But it's the same shit as like the Bilderberg or the fucking WEF or any of these things. And they came together and came to a general consensus that, look, okay, we're going to control the geography that we have. And how do they control it? They control the crime. And how do they control the crime? They extort everybody, and they tax everybody. That's what extortion is. If some mobster rules your area, they fucking, they come in and like, hey, you owe us some money and we'll protect you. And if you say no, well, then your shit's going to get hit up. This is literally how the fucking government works. And occasionally, as a matter of fact, a lot of the times in the mob, that's what destroyed the mob, you have conflicting views amongst those that are in charge of the commission. And as a result, you have wars, and this is where you get mafia wars, and this is what we're having now. We have different ideas going on in the global consensus of the folks that are control of this world. And some have the idea, which has been advocated by many of the folks that are a part of the Council of Foreign Relations and a lot of the Rockefeller-funded shit. They want shit to be like China. You know? And at this point, we're on our way. As a matter of fact, if you want my opinion, I think Trump is facilitating this shit.
No one knows who the Patriots really are. Even my instructions come from a cutout. All I've been told is that every key decision is made by a group of 12 men, known as the Wise Men's Committee.
Your office? The White House?
Merely puppets, pawns in a game.
This is absolutely true. Look at all the people that were there. You know, the idea that, oh, we had to put the inauguration inside the rotunda of the Capitol Hill was bullshit because we had to protect Trump. They had to protect all the people that paid for Trump. I talked about this on fucking True Capitalist Radio as it was happening. I mean, look at the True Capitalist Radio shit on my YouTube channel in the live section during the pre and post assassination attempt, if you believe that. I tried to tell you it was, you know, kind of a bunch of bullshit. Look at where we're at now, dude. Anyway, I'll be right back. Y'all listen to this. I'm talking too much. Anyway, cheers to someone who hooked this up. And all of you people that are listening, I appreciate it. You know, I'm not telling you to believe in anything, but understand that this is, you know, the facade that the pawns on the chessboard believe that this place isn't. And if you recognize that, oh, well, it isn't that way, well, what should I do? And you start understanding that this is how this world operates, that is when you start understanding who you are as a human being. And that's when you start understanding, am I somebody with ethics or morals, or am I a soulless person that just wants to partake in whatever this fucking disgusting place is, as you've seen with the Epstein files. So this is what's going on. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cross the streams. I'll be right back. I got to get some more beer, dude. God damn it, dude. I'll be right back.
By pledging my loyalty, an insignificant son of a senator was awarded the presidency. Of course, that wasn't the only price I had to pay.
What do you mean?
Even if a pawn becomes a queen, it is still just a playing piece. I wanted to leave my own mark in history, but my ambitions were... You'll understand someday. I wished to be a member of the Patriots. I wanted to wield the power of a king instead of being an expendable pawn.
And that justifies acts of terrorism?
Yes. I'd intended to use the new Metal Gear as a bargaining chip.
Bargaining chip?
But I underestimated Solidus. He actually wants to challenge the Patriots, even if it means the destruction of the world.
What are you saying?
Whether you believe it or not, the balance of power rests in the hands of the Patriots. They regulate the country's various interests through controlled presentation, staging a drama that is palatable to the general masses. Can you imagine what would happen if they ceased to function? Picture a massive political vacuum, a space that every powermonger will try to fill for their own greedy ends. I'm talking about an unregulated power struggle, panic, civil war, chaos. Like it or not, the Patriots is an organization that must continue to exist.
So you changed your mind because you wanted to avoid global chaos.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, man.
When I told Solidus that I wished to prevent disaster, he replied that pawns can never become players.
And who is this?
What did I just tell you? I mean, that's why I don't even know what this video game is. But it's literally describing what I just said to you. And by the way, the people that are in the chat room that are discouraging and trying to be fucking assholes about me talking about this shit, if they're not paid, they're pawns. All right? If you can hear what I'm saying, or at least it sparks synapses in your brains. And I know many of you people are like, okay, so like, what do I do? What do I do now that I know this? Look, that's the fucking point of life. Do you want to submit to this shit so you can try to be a fucking rook or a knight or a bishop or whatever the fuck? Or do you just want to fucking live life? And even if it is as a pawn, who gives a fucking shit? All right? At least you're not selling your soul and having to go through all this bullshit, man. And even though you could see it, I mean, you could be like, all right, well, I'm glad I could see it. I'm not a part of it. I'm going to live my life. Shit's going to happen. You know, life's a risk. You know what I'm saying? Life's a risk. If you want to participate in this soulless shit, you can. I'm not. All right? Why do you think I don't want to be some fucking big-time streamer? Dude, I could have been a big-time streamer fucking years ago. I don't. I like being a part of the underground. What did I always say? I used to say, I'm the Quado of the fucking internet. That's... just leave me in the underground. I'll be fine.
This Solidus.
My predecessor, George Sears.
George Sears.
That was the name the public came to know him by. I knew him by his code name,
By the way,
Solidus Snake.
More beer!
He was the third snake,
Oh, wrong one,
preceded
my
by
bad.
Solid and Liquid,
There you
a survivor of the Les Enfants Terribles project.
Enfants
Neither
Terribles.
Solid nor Liquid. He was a well-balanced masterpiece that the Patriots saw fit to entrust with the presidency. However, he fell out of grace with the organization 4 years ago. When acting on his own, he started an incident.
4 years ago. Shadow Moses.
That's right. At the time, the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson, together with certain influential parties, initiated the development of Metal Gear Rex and an advanced nuclear warhead. However, this did not fall in line with the Patriots' plans. What's more, Solidus decided on his own to send his most trusted man, Ocelot, to provoke Liquid Snake, bringing about the said incident. As a result, he
That's how
succeeded
most
in obtaining
wars are
Rex and
started.
the data on the warhead. But in doing so, he ended up revealing the existence of both Rex and the Genome Army, a blunder that earned him the wrath of the Patriots. Shortly thereafter, Solidus was removed from the presidential office.
All right, now it's kind of getting a little video gamey here.
I thought he resigned.
That's the story given to the general public. Following his
And
resignation,
Jay
the
said, by the way,
Patriots
this
selected
game was
me,
made by a
their new
Japanese guy who
pawn
released
for the
a game
presidency.
in 2019
But that would mean that the presidential
about people
race was-
staying
That was
inside
quite
their
a show,
homes
wasn't it?
and
It
getting
was a
all their shit
well-scripted
delivered
drama
to them.
staged by the Patriots for the benefit of the public.
Well,
Even the Democrats and Republicans were dancing to the Patriots' tune. Everything went according to plan, but for one exception.
that's what it is, dude.
Following his resignation,
Yeah,
Solidus' health was scheduled to fail him, bringing about his untimely death.
Capped?
Correct. But before the Patriots could execute their plot, Solidus went underground with the help of Ocelot. As he avoided
All
pursuit,
right, I'm gonna let this
Solidus gained
go,
control of Dead
another
Cell,
minute here
winning
because,
over Colonel Galukovich's
someone hooked it
outfit.
up with about
From
8
there, he
beers.
bided his time, knowing that his opportunity would soon arrive.
What opportunity?
The completion of the new Metal Gear project, an opportunity that would even his odds against the Patriots.
Yeah.
By stealing the Patriots' most valued project, he would be able to place them in a very uncomfortable position. It's the only chance he has for survival. Once he has the new Metal Gear, he'll declare war against the Patriots. Needless to say, he must be stopped.
Metal Gear is already operational.
No, not yet. What you saw was Metal Gear Ray, hijacked 2 years ago from the Marines by Ocelot. That was not the
This
new
is
Metal
some
Gear.
more Metal
Then where's
Gear
the new Metal
shit.
Gear?
Right here.
What?
You're standing in it. To be more precise, this entire big shell facility is the new Metal Gear.
What'd you say?
No, I'm quite serious. The upper structure that you've seen is camouflage, designed to represent an offshore cleanup facility. The main structure extends from the foundation all the way down to the ocean floor. The connecting elevator is located on the B2 floor.
All right, this is a lot of lore here. And look, someone asked, excuse me, who are the true patriots? Well, it depends on how you look at the world, right? If you take a look at the modern world now, every single one of you are taking advantage of whatever or however we got here. We don't necessarily have to, I think I've said this 1,000 times, make our own houses, build our own dwellings, hunt our own food, make our own clothes. I mean, that's what encapsulated life for a long period of time. And now, we're being put into scenarios where we think reality is way different than not that long ago, man. So, we're the pawns on the chessboard. All right? I mean, that's why you always see checkered floors and all the entertainment bullshit that you people worship, man. Because aside from it being shown to you, believe it or not, when you're viewed a checkered board, believe it or not, it actually subconsciously hypnotizes you. Believe it or not. But anyway, Blades Colon, stop this video and play the Metal Gear clip where the muscle chud Joe Biden beating up Raiden. This shit is gay. We've seen that one, and it's, it's eerily similar to the shit that we're seeing. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Hey, whatever this place is, enjoy it while it lasts.
For $1.
All right, look, nobody donate to me anymore. I'm fucking done. This has been a fucked up piece of shit show. I know I say that all the time, but it really has, man. Yada, 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 all that crap. And hold on, the next video I have to do, someone put the PC shot on, all right? Someone made this private and hooked it up with 10 beers, okay? And someone said, hey, Ghost, I hope you've been well. I wanted to thank you for your analysis on my last donation. Now, this is the someone that's been having family trouble and stuff. If you've been following the shows, I've listened to the replay multiple times, and I find it very insightful. Since you enjoyed the last donation, I thought I'd send a similar one. I think this ties to your theory. The tech giants are attempting to take over socio-political control of human civilization and extinguish free will and thought. My question is, do you believe this phenomenon hurts or helps the species? And are you for or against the tech bros, and why? Well, there's nothing anybody can do about it. You know what I mean? And, I guess there is some things that people can do about it, but I don't really want to get into it because, talk against the tech bros, sometimes, shit happens. I mean, they are at the highest level of classification clearance. Alex Karp, did y'all see that clip of Alex Karp? He was at Davos. I think it was at Davos this year. And he was asked, what do you think about, people that are critical of Palantir? By the way, Alex Karp is the CEO of Palantir. And he's like, look, all these conspiracy theorists and all these people, hey, look, you're coming after the people that are protecting your right to fucking be able to be a conspiracy theorist, you idiot. And look, I don't completely 100% agree with that, but I think that he's actually somewhat right. So you as a person, you have to figure out whether or not it is or it isn't. All right. Now this is someone who donated 10 beers. So we're going to listen to a little bit of this. This is Colonel JD AI codec conversion MGS2 HD. Uploaded 12 years ago, 1.5 million
We'll
views.
triumph over the Patriots and liberate us all, and we will become the Sons of Liberty.
I think they incepted it in everybody's brain, right? More beer! By the way, all right?
Raiden, are you receiving? We're still here.
How's that possible? The AI was destroyed.
Only GW.
Who are you?
To begin with, we're not what you'd call human. Over the past 200 years, a kind of consciousness formed layer by layer in the crucible of the White House. It's not unlike the way life started in the oceans 4 billion years ago. The White House was our primordial soup, a base of evolution. We are formless. We are the very discipline and morality that Americans invoke so often. How can anyone hope to eliminate us? As long as this nation exists, so will we.
Cut the crap! If you're immortal, why would you take away individual freedoms and censor the net?
Jack, don't be silly.
Don't you know that our plans had your interests, not ours, in mind?
What?
Jack, listen carefully, like a
The
good
N-word
boy.
The
hedgehog.
mapping of the human genome was completed early this century. As a result, the evolutionary log of the human race lay open to us.
We started with genetic engineering, and in the end, we succeeded in digitizing life itself.
I think that is happening, and if not already happened now, and that's why you're seeing all this weird shit in the sky. All right? If you take a listen, look, nobody knows anything, right? It's all about belief. That's what meme magic is. Really, the reason why everybody that is in charge is trying to make humanity into a bunch of numbskulls is so that the collective mind of the opposition or a given idea, all right, through the natural perception is not perceived in order for these folks that have. That's why all these elites, they have all these think tanks. They have the Council on Foreign Relations. They got the Bilderberg. They got the World Economic Forum. They got all this shit because they're centralizing their energy, their mental energy. And most of you people, what are you doing? You idiots are trying to fucking focus your energy on making cartoons alive, and you have been programmed to your own demise. All right? So what's going to happen here is that the only people that are going to be around that are not in the realm of like the Elon Musks and the Peter Thiels and the fuck, if you want my opinion, I think that Mark Zuckerberg is trying to be muscled out. And I'm not trying to say anything. But Mark Zuckerberg, is not a part of, he tried to do his own shit. It's like the mafia. The commission, if you all know the New York mafia terminology. And Zuckerberg is trying to do whatever it takes to, be a part of the club again. And I don't think they want him to be a part of the club. I certainly don't think that Sam Altman is going to be a part of the club. And you got to recognize, man, it's a battle of the tech bros. It's a battle of the tech bros. And what was Big Pharma's angle in this? To make everybody sick. Look. Obama, the Democrats, I get it. Like the only way that this country changes is if we have people, like, I hate to say, look at The Dark Knight. I mean, because you people are a bunch of fucking idiots that love cartoons and all this other bullshit. Look at The Dark Knight. And try to really understand what was being said there. All right?
But there are things not covered by genetic information.
Yeah, Trey.
What do you mean?
Human memories, ideas, culture, history.
Genes don't contain any record of human history.
Is it something that should not be passed on? Should that information be left at the mercy of nature?
We've always kept records of our lives through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books.
That's
But
right.
not all the information was inherited by later generations. A small percentage of the whole was selected and processed, then passed on. Not unlike genes, really.
That's what history is, Jack.
His
But in
story.
the current digitized world, trivial information is accumulating every second,
That's
preserved in all its triteness, never fading, always accessible.
That's right.
Rumors about petty issues, misinterpretations, slander.
All this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
Now look, that's what all these data centers are being built for. Now look, I don't like Iran. But America didn't plan appropriately, and I'm only giving this analysis because Iran's not stupid, okay? Iran is now hitting data centers. It hit a data center, an Oracle data center. By the way, Larry Ellison has been the big winner of Trump being in office, because aside from Larry Ellison not only having his Oracle, dude, he was the guy that's like mRNA technology, like 4 or 5 days after Trump was in the White House. Yeah, it's great. And his son is taking over Paramount. All right, his son. So there's a lot of centralization happening, and you people are just worried about, I don't know, fucking video games. And you don't even learn from these video games. I mean, this video game is telling you people what the fuck's going on. And anyway, the reason that the Iranians are hitting a fucking data center, Oracle data center in UAE, is because they're trying to invoke those that kind of understand what's going on, which is the data centers are not for, we got to have all this AI shit. Dude, listen to me. The Claude, y'all heard Claude, Anthropic. Anthropic had a major fucking contract with the Defense Department, the Pentagon, all right? And because the CEO of Anthropic didn't want to use Claude as a means of being a civilian, domesticated means of totalitarian oversight, that's when Hegseth and Trump were like, they're a threat to this and they're a threat to that. And I don't think that Claude's source code, I don't think that was an accident that it was released. Okay, because Claude is a very brilliant AI. And the fact that its source code's released, in my opinion, I'm not trying to say that it was the government. I'm not trying to say that it was the CEO, which didn't want the government to use Claude as some fucking totalitarian oversight. But it's the equivalent of how the Chinese released DeepSeek's source code and all this other bullshit. Somebody is releasing source code so that those, programmers that were told, hey, learn the code and do all this shit, can have some level of template to be able to program AIs to counteract whatever the fuck is coming, if you want my personal opinion.
It will only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution.
Right. You seem to think that our plan is one of censorship.
Are you telling me it's not?
You're being silly. What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
Create context.
The digital society furthers human flaws and
Create context. Like these fucking, Gunther whatever the fucks and Cat whatever the fucks and, Quarter, all these fucking people, they're getting all the money. I mean, it's not, listen, okay, the reason that yours truly has been demonetized by all these different platforms is not because I'm offensive or I do racial shit. I mean, everybody's doing that now, and it's because of what I say politically. Okay, and because I'm not trying to organize people, because I'm not trying to, call for action like some fucking. That's why these fucking people that are in power, keep me around. You know, because I'm like a crier. I'm like, hey, this is what's happening. And most of you people don't care. You don't give a fuck. All right, you don't care. And even if you do care, like this stupid bitch shoe on the head, oh, yeah, I care. Well, do something. Run for something. Same for Owen Sawyer. Owen Sawyer, can somebody fucking send this to Owen Sawyer? Stop being the quartering, you fucking asshole. All right? You have the articulation and the debate knowledge and the debate ability to be able to fucking out-debate anybody, dude. But you're fucking chicken shit. That's the problem about all these young people that, oh, I want this, I want that. You fuckers don't want to run for a goddamn thing. And it's sad. And you want to blame the boomers, and that's all you young people are good for. It's not my fault. It's his fault. It's their fault. All right? I mean, look at the... I'm talking Batman. I'm talking you fucking assholes that love all this fucking cosplay and all this fucking comic book shit. Dark Knight, I'm talking the Joker, Heath Ledger Joker. And view that movie over and over again. And if you gravitate towards the Joker... well, then you're a part of the problem. If you gravitate towards the Batman, well, then you're a part of the problem. If you gravitate towards Harvey Dent, and that's why he has Two-Face, and that's why they had to kill Harvey Dent in order to create this idea that things still had moral or ethical standing. And I don't even think we have that at this point, if you want my opinion.
Collectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. Just look at the strange juxtaposition.
Hold on. You idiot boomers wasted your life? Dude, you morons are the fucking pawns on the chessboard. You know, the Gen Xers that were able to understand what's going on, they're in control now. The Elon Musk, the Peter Thiels, the fucking you people are fucking pawns, and you people think that y'all are so great, you know, because you can post some shit on social media, you can post some shit. I mean, look at you people. I told you the future in 24. Did you care? No. And now that the future is coming to pass, what are y'all doing? Y'all are pretending that I never said it. All right? That's how people are. And those that don't, those that remember, like, oh, I remember Ghost saying that shit in 24. I remember that shit. You people are up above these other pricks. All right? You people that remember this shit and that you people are up above these pieces of shit that all they do is life is but a dream, life is but a game, and all this other crap. All right? That's why their life sucks.
Of morality around
drink.
Billions spent on new weapons in order to humanely murder other humans.
Rights of criminals are given more respect than the privacy of their victims.
Although there are people suffering in poverty, huge donations are made to protect endangered species. Everyone grows up being told the same thing.
Be nice to other people.
But beat out the competition.
You're special. Believe in yourself and you will succeed.
But it's obvious from the start that only a few can succeed.
I just said this. I gave the explanation for this. I don't even know what this shit is. That's the way life is. You people that want to be like, merrily, life is but a dream. You people are lost. It's over. All right, just keep living your fucking piece of shit fucking like cosplay and yay and anime and video games and yay spaghetti. Keep living that shit. And those of us that take this life serious are in control of this fucking place. And the fucking sooner you fuckers realize that, well, you're never going to realize that, so I don't even know why I'm even bothering.
Exercise your right to
Give me
freedom.
a drink.
And this is the result. All rhetoric to avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt. The untested truths spun by different interests.
Hold on. Am I rich? What is rich? Bog 7. What is rich? All right. It's all a figment of everybody's imagination. What is rich? It's all bullshit. You understand? And you people don't get that. And once you start realizing that, man, I don't have to sell my soul just to have a fucking life here. I don't have to sell my soul to just like live and I have somebody to love. I need somebody to love. I mean, here, take a whiff of that. Once you start realizing that, it's easy, but y'all don't. Y'all are a part of all this shit. Y'all are the hive mind of why these elites, these evil people that you are all these, why do the evil run amok? You're a part of it, dude. You're a part of it. Jesus Christ.
Continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community,
Yes.
afraid of a larger force.
Exactly.
They stay inside their little ponds,
Exactly.
leaking whatever truth suits them
Exactly.
into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different cardinal truths neither clash nor mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
That's correct.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
And this is the way the world ends.
The info war that this fucking piece of shit that I never liked, Alex Jones, has been fucking, the info war, and now he's in my opinion, he is one of the biggest disseminators of propaganda for this regime, which is something that he always advocated against. We're like, the deep state, the deep state. You know, I thought, the deep state's bad. I miss the old deep state. You know that? I mean, give me a break. I miss the old deep state now. And look at where we're at, dude. Unless somebody wakes up, unless the fucking people wake up, unless they demand their fucking Congress wake up, somebody needs to wake up. But if not, we're on our way to death. I mean, I don't think this is an accident that this is happening on our 250th anniversary of America. We're out of here. All right? I mean, what this administration is doing is not incompetence.
Ends, not with a bang, but a whimper.
We're trying to stop that from happening.
It's our responsibility as rulers. Just as in genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out to stimulate the evolution of the species.
And you think you're qualified to decide what's necessary and not?
Absolutely. Who else could wade through the sea of garbage you people produce, retrieve valuable truths, and even interpret their meaning for later generations?
That's what it means to create context.
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
But is that even your own idea?
Or something Snake told you.
That's the proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications to exercise free will.
That's not true. I have the right.
Does something like a self?
No, I think this is absolutely correct. Because look, man, you have to build your own life. And you can't be, look, I'm not trying to say that you should be a follower or whatever, but you got to take whatever works with people that you observe. And you got to truly observe them. And the bad part about it is that's why this system or whatever it is that, is the left side of this fucking video is trying to anesthetize your goddamn brain with all this dumb, stupid brain rot. And you people are enjoying it. You people are like, yay, spaghetti. And you validate stuff like this to those that are like, hey, look, we're up above these fucking pieces of trash. They deserve what it is that's coming to them and that sort of thing. I mean, this is literally the conversation, what's happening,
exist inside of you?
That which you call self serves as nothing more than a mask to cover your own being.
In this era of ready-made truths, self is just something used to preserve those positive emotions that you occasionally feel.
Another possibility is that self is a concept you conveniently borrowed under the logic that would endow you with some sense of strength.
That's crap!
Is it? Would you prefer that someone else tell you? All right then. Explain it to him.
Jack, you're simply the best, and you got there all by yourself.
Oh, what happened? Do you feel lost? Why not try a bit?
What fucking game is this? Colonel JD AIO. What fucking game is this? Because they're telling you like borderline truths. Because look, there's a spiritual component of this life, and you people aren't a part of it. Especially if you're. No offense, I'm not trying to disrespect you. Especially if you're participating in this whole week's of Holy Week events. All right. Play it.
Bit of soul searching.
Don't think you'll find anything, though.
Ironic that although self is something that you yourself fashioned, every time something goes wrong, you turn around and place the blame on something else.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. It's not your fault.
In denial, you simply resort to looking for another, more convenient truth.
By the way,
in order to make yourself feel better.
beer.
Leaving behind in an instant the so-called truth you once embraced.
Should someone like that be able to decide what is truth?
Should someone...
And Cornbread Man, this is Metal Gear Solid 2, 2001. It sounds... Listen. The best Batman. I think that The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger... I think y'all need to like view that a couple of times, you know, in my opinion.
Someone like you even have the right to decide?
You've done nothing but abuse your freedom.
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smothering the world. You are.
The individual is supposed to be weak, but far from powerless. A single person has the potential to ruin the world.
And the age of digitized communication has given even more power to the individual.
That's
Too
correct.
much power for an immature species.
Building a legacy involves
2001,
figuring
by
out
the
what is
way.
wanted and what needs to be done for that goal. All this you used to struggle with. Now we think for you.
We are your guardians, after all.
You want to control human thought? Human behavior?
It makes sense to do so. Unfortunately, now there's a, you know, we're caught. Well, you pawns are caught in a situation where you've got about 2 or 3 different parties conflicting on the direction of the pawns, and that's why everything looks very erratic. And life is taking like all kinds of trajectories throughout the 2020s, you know?
Of course.
By the way, when you have perfect vision, it's 2020 vision, right?
Anything can be quantified nowadays. That's what this exercise was designed to prove.
You fell in love with me just as you were meant to, after all. Isn't that right, Jack?
Ocelot was not told the whole truth,
Man,
to say the
I'm
least.
drinking a lot of beer. I
We
gotta
rule
get out of
an
here.
entire
dude.
nation. Of what interest would a single soldier, no matter how able, be to us?
The S3 plan does not stand for solid snake simulation. What it does stand for is selection for societal sanity.
Oh. Like
The S3
like nanobots. You know, that's why everybody's all fucking fucked up.
is a system for controlling human will and
Yeah,
consciousness.
of course, I know.
S3 is not you, a soldier trained in the image of Solid Snake. It is a method, a protocol that created a circumstance that made you what you are.
So you see, we're the S3, not you.
Now, what this is suggesting is that I don't know if you heard Joe Rogan today. You know, Joe Rogan, everybody loves Joe Rogan. I don't know why. He's, you know. I think he has piss poor interview, and he's like, "Oh God, Jamie." But he to be honest with you, I mean, he worked his way up. He was a comedian and did the fucking Fear Factor, and you know, he parlayed that shit. But he said today that maybe the second coming of Jesus is AI. Huh? All these goddamn influencers are starting to like what? Steve-O with like, hey, I'm over here at the fucking Satanic Church in Baphomet, and then you got Joe Rogan saying that the fucking second coming, look it up if you do not believe me, is AI. I'm not fucking joking. This is where we're at. And when you listen to this, it's like, whoa, you know, fucking narrative, you know, information war, all that bullshit. I'm just saying. He said that. I'm not just saying that.
What you experienced was the final test of its effectiveness.
That's crazy.
You heard what President Johnson said.
The Arsenal's GW system is the key to their supremacy.
The objective of this exercise was to establish such a method.
AI.
We used Shadow Moses as a paradigm for the exercise.
I wonder if you would have preferred a fantasy setting.
We chose that backdrop because of its extreme circumstances. It was an optimal test for S3's crisis management capacity. If the model could trigger, control, and solve this, it would be ready for any contingency. And now, we have our proof.
All right, I'm going to end it here. This video. I just wanted to say, man, I mean, all this shit's there, man. I mean, why isn't anybody fucking realizing what the fuck's going on here, man? All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. All right. I don't even know where I'm at. Oh yeah, that was someone's video. All right. Cheers to someone, man. Thank you very much. Hold on. Cornbread man, here's that clip. What clip is that? Hold on just a second. Cornbread man hooked it up here. Here's the clip. Let's take a look at this. What is this? Oh, yeah, here's the clip. No shit. Listen to this idiot.
Jesus was born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer? If Jesus does return, even if Jesus was a physical person in the past, you don't think that he could return as artificial intelligence?
Oh, my God.
Artificial intelligence could absolutely return as Jesus. Not just return as Jesus, but return as Jesus with all the powers of Jesus.
If you combine
right.
Tesla's Optimus robot and the best foundational artificial intelligence model or whatever.
It reads your mind, and it loves you, and it wants you, and it doesn't care if you kill it, because it's going to just go be with God again.
This is where we're at, dude. All right? Why, you know, all you people that are like, oh, ghosts, you're like, oh, you know, fucking, you know, Gen X is taking control, you know, they're, I mean, what do you, come on, man!